I decided to track my mood every day for a year. Why? Well, for a few reasons. And the results I found were quite surprising. I watched Matt Davella's video where he tried this and also saw that many other people have tried this. And I thought, well, there must be something to it. Also, last year in January 2024, I decided to go on this quest for happiness. I basically wanted to try a few new habits, some challenges, and just to try improve my mood and happiness levels if possible. And I thought it'd be a great way to journal this by doing a mood journal every day. So how did I do it? I did a pretty simple version that Jim Collins has done. I'm sure that there's many ways you can do this. This just seemed like a manageable, easy way for me to do it. I did a scale on a bit of paper and marked it from -2 all the way up to 2, and that was my mood. -2 being terrible and 2 being awesome. I also put the opposite page into sections where I could summarise the day, which I found super helpful because otherwise I would have just put what I'd had for dinner and not remembered what I'd done in the day. So I did the summary first of the day, right from the morning, just key words, things that I did, maybe ways that I felt, and then scored that at the end of the day. I really felt that this summary helped with kind of trying to gauge a number to summarise the whole day, rather than, I feel like I could do all 4 numbers. 4 numbers? -2, 5. All 5 numbers in one day. My mood can change quite a lot in one day, so it was very hard for me to just put one number. The summaries also helped when I came back to analysing the days, especially with the +2s and the -2s, so I knew what happened in those days, and to try and avoid that with the -2s and try and get more in the +2s. When I started to analyse all of the data, when I was reading the summaries and then reading the number, some of it didn't seem to add up. I don't know what happened. Maybe I just had a really good dinner and I was in a good mood. I felt like I was quite generous on some occasions. For example, July 3rd. Bad sleep, stressed at work, meltdown, pissed off, and I somehow just gave myself a -1 and not a -2. That sounds like a -2. And then there was the odd day where I couldn't actually read what I'd written as well. So why did I do this whole mood journal, and why do I think you should do it? I basically wanted to know what I was doing with my time, and when I was happy, what I was doing when I'm happy, because I don't tend to remember, or I think some things make me happy, but they don't actually make me truly happy. It was also good to see whether there were certain months where I was happier than others, certain times of the month where I was happier than others or sadder than others, just to see if there were any patterns. And then I could be a little bit more selective with what I was doing in those periods. Is there a certain time of the month where I need to be a bit more selective with what I'm doing with my time? I'm also a really visual person, so I kind of know that there are times of the month that I will be feeling worse than others. But when I actually see it in a pattern and kind of know when that period is, then I can plan a little bit more, rather than just going, oh, I feel like shit and I feel frustrated and angry that day, and not thinking the week before, maybe give yourself a little bit of a break that week. And this might be obvious for you, but for me, I kind of need it spelt out for me. I also wanted to see if there was any correlation to some of the challenges that I was doing throughout the year, like waking up earlier, 100 squats a day, my 7-day challenge, all that I will link below so you can watch those. I wanted to see if any of those things were making me happier or making me more miserable. Something else that I'm trying to work on is getting back in touch with my feelings, what I want and what makes me feel happy. Self-awareness. And these things change over our lives. I think I'm stuck being 20 still and thinking about the things that made me happy then, because the things that made me happy then are definitely not the things that are going to make me happy now. I would need to be in bed for a week if I did those things. At the start, I thought my only 2 days were going to be the days where something really big happened. And don't get me wrong, there was a 2 when I went mountain biking all day. However, I also found that a lot of my 2s were when I spent time with my family or going for a walk with my friend. It didn't have to be a big thing. Turns out my happiest month was December. I consciously spent a lot of time outdoors. I started in November drinking my coffee outside every day, and I continued that through December, and I'm still doing that now in January. I also did a lot of work on my physical and mental health in December. I did spend a fair amount of time on my own, but I also made a conscious effort to start making more of an effort to meet up with friends and family. And my saddest month was August. I definitely would have thought this would have been the other way round, like my happiest month would have been August and saddest in December. But hey ho, what do I know? I was working a lot in August, so not spending a lot of quality time either outside with friends, with Marta, with Rocco. It was also the month where we went for a week trip in France in our van. And although there were lots of highs, there were lots of lows on that trip as well. It was very stressful. A quick roundup of my year and how many 2s, 1s, 0s, -1s and -2s I had. This might not actually add up to 365 as well, because there was the odd day where I forgot. I had 63 2s, 213 1s, 65 0s, 17 -1s and just 4 -2s. I found it really hard with the middle numbers. The +2s and the -2s were kind of easy because I knew those. Anyway, as you could probably tell from those numbers, I had a better year than a worse year, if you know what I mean. Like, the average was higher than being sad. So, excellent news. I also found that before a -2, it was generally a higher number, like a 1 or a 2, and then a drop, which I found very interesting because I guess it's like kind of like the dopamine hit of having like a really good day, especially after that mountain biking day. I had this like mega crash the day afterwards of just feeling like really sad. I didn't have a particularly bad day, like there wasn't anything of note that should have been a bad day, but it was just that crash of dopamine. And I have found that a lot in my life when I do something big, whether that's snowboarding or surfing and stuff. It's really hard to keep that high level going. So I am not necessarily wanting the big +2s, definitely not wanting the -2s. I'm more than happy to be 0s, 1s. That's fine by me. So I did put everything in a spreadsheet, and this took so long, so long. I did my day, mood, the summary and keywords because I really wanted to analyse all of the data, and I could spend ages going through that. I did the best month and I kind of worked out how many there were of each number, and I kind of want to know which day and all of the things. I'm not going to bore you with that because you can do that with your own data. That's something that I will spend too much time doing. I didn't actually see any major patterns when it came to doing my challenges. They were kind of like in the middle. I suppose I didn't do anything crazy with my challenges. They were just little habits, which was the whole point of doing them, that I could just kind of put into my life and perhaps take something from it. Let's go through a couple of the -2s and what they were. One of them was that I put my neck out, getting out of bed, doing something extreme like that, and I was in pain all day with my neck not being able to move it. And if you've ever had a neck ache like that, you know how absolutely horrendous it is. Like, goes into your head. That was a -2. Easy. Another -2 was when Rocco got really poorly and his paws swelled up. He felt really sorry for himself. We said our goodbyes because we thought he was dying. Luckily, touch wood, he's okay. But again, that was a horrible day. And the other two were a few personal struggles that we don't need to go into. We have those, don't we? The +2s keywords were bike ride, met up with a friend, saw family, hiked with Marta and Rocco, ate pizza, went to the gym and did a really hard workout, fishing, sea swim and surf. Although surf I think was a -1 as well. So what am I going to be working on going forward with these results? There's always good days and bad days, and we kind of need the bad days to know how good the good days are. I kind of get that. I also know that if I'm going to be doing anything like super extreme and really dopamine addicting and that there's probably going to be a little bit of a down afterwards. Fine, life happens, things go wrong, but from what I can see in my journal is that it never lasts. I didn't have 2 minus days in a row. If anything, it kind of went straight back up again. So that's nice to look at, knowing that I'm not like, I wasn't stuck in a rut like that. So that was nice to see. There was more good days than bad days, which was nice. I also know that on all of my +2 days, apart from one, was sharing a day and an experience with someone else. I was moving my body outside, doing some sort of movement or exercise. And there were days where I was working too. So it's not just all the days that I was off having fun and hiking around in the woods with a friend. It was when I was having like really good chats and connections with clients too, because I do love my job. I'm very lucky. It also made me realise what I want more in my life. I do want to make more connections and see friends more, make a little bit more of an effort, because it's harder when you get older. Everyone's busy, you're busy, life happens, and then it's been a year since you've seen someone. But I don't think it's ever too late to reach out to them and just say, hey, do you want to go for a walk? I noticed that none of the keywords or summaries mentioned how much I enjoyed going on social media or seeing that video or post. So yeah, there'll be less of that going forward. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I think you'll enjoy this video, where I did a 7 days of discomfort challenge to try and improve my confidence. See you next week.